this game, and we have ourselves a much different start. Terrorblade, I believe, was banned out. May have been third banned by one of the teams, but otherwise he's going to be first picked here from the Vega Squadron, and they're actually going to be pretty happy to see this on the effects side. Clockwork and Shadow Fiend, not because that's really a cakewalk to play up against, but because Clockwork and Shadow Fiend means that the mid lane for effect is locked up, which means that you're not going to go up against Alina, which means Terrorblade is going to be feeling pretty good about that. Now, the raised damage can still add up on the Terrorblade for sure, but for the most part, if you can avoid those big magic burst heroes as the Terrorblade, and most of them come from the mid lane, Ember Spirit, Alina, then you're going to be pretty happy. Now, effect with this combo will obviously look to utilize the very intended interaction of cogs to gain souls for the Shadow Fiend in the early game. Because, as we all know, cogs, purely machine constructions, have souls. So yeah, they're going to look to use that, and ooh, they're going to grab a Phoenix afterwards. Seems like they're starting to build up just a lot of team fight here. Initiation was something that effect we're kind of lacking in the last game. And we'll solve that by first picking the Clockwork here. But support Phoenix is something that I'm not really sure if I'm a huge fan of. It is a really, really good hero to have versus Terrorblade. Let me tell you guys, if you want to feel like the most awful feeling deep in your soul, play Terrorblade up against Phoenix and then get hit with Fire Spirits. It's actually the worst thing in the world. It's actually terrible. You have to get that magic immunity for the Terrorblade, for sure. For sure. Even though the Phoenix has advantages in that regard, the heal Sunray with the Shadow Fiend is very nice. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up here. Is this a real draft, guys? Is this a real draft? Hold on. Yeah, we have ourselves a real draft. But even though the Phoenix is a really good matchup, 1v1 versus the Terrorblade, he is still a hero that really only works in the later stage of the game. Early on, he's kind of mediocre. That's really a really bad phase for the Phoenix. And for Vega to already have a Terrorblade, they are in a position where they can go very aggressive early on, especially with this Nyx Assassin pick. I love this pick here for the Vega Squadron side. Looking at effects heroes, Enigma's usually going towards offlane, as is Clockwork, so one of them's going to have to play in the forward position, right? Enigma jungle or Clockwork support, seen it all. Not really sure which one is really preferable here, but either way, Nyx Assassin has such a great matchup against this kind of wild AoE of the Phoenix and the Shadow Fiend. Just step into the Sunray and get that Spike Carapace off. You're feeling pretty good about the Nyx Assassin then. And of course we have this Pudge from the Vega Squadron side. Another hero to save along with that Dazzle Terrorblade. Definitely looking to be protected here. And Pudge, pretty good up against those cogs. If you can hook out a Phoenix or an Enigma, you're feeling great about your game. Now even more initiation for Vega. They are really ready to jump in on this last safe laner of effect. Enigma also, and I mean, this is pretty much what Vega Squadron are intending to do with their last two picks, Storm, Nyx, just to mess with that Enigma. Faceless Void the pick for effect, as they're going to solidify their massive teamfight draft. And yes, that is going to mean that in a full 5-on-5 heads-up fight, the odds of effect losing are slim to none. But with Vega Squadron having Storm Spirit and Nyx Assassin, both of whom obviously are great pick-off heroes, and the Pudge, a support hero who is also really strong in the pick-off department, who is also not really seen all that often, but hey, if you do land a hook, and if you're able to take down that hero before effect you're able to respond, if you're able to pull apart the effect heroes, that's how Vega Squadron are going to win these fights. I got a couple of people saying that the real U is actually Aloha Dance. I am not 100% on that, but just keep that in mind. That might be the real Aloha Dance, actually.
5 seconds remaining.
But hey, I don't want to give credit to some guy. If it's actually someone else, I don't want to give credit to Aloha Dance, because he's not doing anything here. But if it is Aloha Dance, then I'm giving credit to him anyway by saying the real you. So, I mean, that's his decision, right? That's his prerogative. It is going to be a big teamfight game for effect, going up against the kind of pick-apart style of Vega. And in these situations, it is pretty much always going to come down to who is more on the ball, who is just playing better. And off of the last game,
For battle.
I gotta say, as far as that playing better is concerned, I gotta hand it to Vega, but not really by all that much. They were able to get their act together by the end, as I said before, but it was still a little bit of a struggle. Oh. Only one cog. And Affin is like, start at 12 o'clock, goddammit! Start at the top, Seedoy! This is the point of this combo. There we go. So clockwise. There we go, there we go. 3. That's good. You can do this all day. Like, you can just max out in souls. And we can see Shadow Fiend, he really wants to smooth over this power curve. Shadow Fiend level 1 is awful. Shadow Fiend level 1 with 3 Fairy Fires, plus this extra Cog Soul. It definitely can make the difference here.
30 seconds to battle.
Thank you, Ice Frog, for this interaction. 9 denies on the Shadow Fiend. Gotta remember that these do count as denies in the chart, but don't actually deny any experience towards Vega. Oh yeah, that value. It's so stupid that this is an interaction, guys. I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of BS right here. The Vega, in the meantime, they just put up some observer wards. They're gonna take a little bit of a walkabout in the enemy jungle. We see Afterlife is gonna go for the mass attack speed build. Yeah, this build actually used to be something that you would do on Lone Druid. Just mass up gloves on the bear. Not even joking, guys. Like, I'm talking way back when. People used to do that. But this advantage of the souls is going to give Shadow Fiend a really good fighting chance up against the Storm. Now, Shadow Fiend, as far as harassing the Storm, can do it once like level 5 is hit. But now that he has just as much, actually a little bit more base damage than the Storm Spirit, G's lane is actually fairly rough here. He's going to be outranged. He's going to be out-nuked. And there may be a couple rotations going either way. But either way, the Storm Spirit does have to watch himself quite a bit. Unless Sioma's going to do this. Hook in and look to deny the wave of the Shadow Fiend. Now, this is going to mess with the lane, obviously, quite a bit. It's going to give Sioma essentially a full jungling worth of experience. But it's also going to mean that Affin's souls are going to be kind of hard to come by. If you're a level 1 Shadow Fiend, even though you may have a couple of extra souls here, not going to matter if you can't get your raises up. And Sioma, so far, at least with this first one, has done it absolutely perfectly. Killed a full wave, killed a full friendly wave, killed a creep camp, is going to deny the rest of his friendly wave to the dragons. And we can see he's ready to go again. So, yeah, this Pudge, you definitely do some cute things with this hero. He's going to run to our Zeke. Pudge can't really do that much versus the Phoenix. Roger, caught in a cage. Really, he was going to start killing him off as well Silent. But Clockwork in the top lane is going to be the selection here from the effect side. Enigma is just going to be jungling in the meantime. Enigma jungle is one of the fastest ones. Oh, Affinage in a little bit of trouble. One more shot. Oh! Literally 1 HP. Circlet, good item. Circlet, great item. And the Shadow Fiend will shrine up back to full. Now, if G is a little bit luckier there, that could have been a kill. We can see damage is 60 to 70 plus 3. On average, you do 65. But if he was a little bit luckier there, maybe he rolled low. Maybe could have been first blood. Either way, the Storm with that what are we gonna call it? Pull from the Pudge, creep Pudge pull. Going to make things a lot more difficult for that Shadow Fiend. Now, Pudge can't do that all the time. He will shrine up again, but he is kind of needed on this bottom lane. Nick Sasson isn't going to have a tough time necessarily, but oh, whoa, okay, Silent is going to kill off Roger, and I totally caught that, guys. You didn't miss anything. It is going to be a Terrorblade with level 1 Metamorphosis to get the kill. Clockwork, if you're not burning out the Terrorblade of mana, you have to play the distances very carefully. Affinage is going to get jumped by Sioma. And turn around for a hook. Affinage actually played that very confidently by running after the Pudge. Now, obviously, the turnaround hook could have been really bad. Silent is going to be here to help out G. Which Roger is going to make a rotation in very fast with this build. But I'm not really sure what he's actually trying to accomplish here as a level 3 Clockwork. If you're a support Clockwork, that's fine. But if the team is counting on you to be in the off lane, you kind of can't afford to make that rotation and just like kind of say, screw the offlane, I'm going to go out about and wander. Our Zeke the Phoenix is going to take over for right now. Of course, going to weaken this bottom lane by quite a bit. This is already a lane where Afterlife is having quite a nice time here as the Nyx Assassin. Level 4, with this regeneration and his armor and the Poor Man Shield, there's really no chance that he ever dies to Seedoy, unless Seedoy gets like 10 bashes in a row. The Nyx Assassin should be getting a full lane worth of income and experience. What has this Pudge been up to? Hey, he's doing more shenanigans. G is able to just blast down the creep wave with those remnants. Clockwork perhaps going to look to put a stop to this. But he is going to be in between a rock and a hard place. A rock, I mean Pudge, and a hard place, I mean G with the double damage rune. Roger's going to try to race for Sioma, and the race for the kill is going to be won. He will still die. I mean, there was no getting out of that. Actually, Silent was arriving with that heal. That could have definitely turned the tides if he was a little bit faster incoming. But yeah, able to take down the Pudge. Clockwork is now a support Clockwork. I mean, he is pretty much just saying that with his movement. Now, RZ can handle the top lane. Phoenix just is ranged, and there's not enough catch on the Vega Squadron side to really punish an offlane Phoenix. So I don't really mind this rotation all that much, especially if they're able to get on top of the Terrorblade. He does have Conjure Image up and Metamorphosis. So Battery Assault, even though it does, I think it does like 700 something damage at level 1, if it's just one target, it'll do very little up against a full creep wave. Shotzill is going to arrive. They have additional damage, and now the Fire Spirit's going to land onto the Terrorblade. Feels bad, man. You can see his DPS just plummet to 0 as soon as that Fire Spirit lands. They'll take him down. But at what cost? Silent's going to run to Roger. Realize, hey, that's a Clockwork. I don't want to fight that alone. Pudge is here, so they could split the damage. And with the Poison Touch and the Rot, Clockwork is not going to escape this. He's going to get hooked and dead. Sioma going to chalk one up for himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They'll make the rotation up towards top. Terrorblade has been alone for a little while now. Dazzle rotated towards the bottom lane, try to get into that earlier fight. Dazzle being with the real you definitely would have swung things in favor of Vega in that gank. This status quo, though, is very, very Vega favored. Obviously, this Pudge shenanigans, I mean, it only says he has 4 CS and 0 denies. That is wrong. He has 4 CS and at least 8 denies. He denied 2 entire creep waves to the Shadow Fiend, and we could see the impacts of that right here. G, second place in net worth, pretty much exactly where a mid laner wants to be, and Shadow Fiend is kind of scraping the bottom here. Now, he is still able to stick in lane, no real pressure to shove him out. We'll have the raises up, but they slowed down the Shadow Fiend by such a huge margin. Really kind of disgusting what you could do with that. I guess the only remaining question is, what is more broken? Pudge pulls or Clockwork cogs feeding the Shadow Fiend's soul? It's the eternal question, guys. G now is level 7, so they are able to apply that active pressure towards Athen instead of just passively applying pressure with denying his wave. Just throw the Pudge in there, let the Storm Spirit go ham if you find an opening. And the Shadow Fiend is probably going to be in a position where he's going to resort to raise to CS, just hide behind his tower. Even hiding behind your tower, though, isn't really going to be completely safe. Thunder Lizards farmed up by Shotchlo. And he's feeling pretty good about his life right now. There are a lot of heroes converging upon him, especially Silent from the left. If he lands a Poison Touch, that's just a kill. Shotchlo can look to put the Eidolons in front of him. Yes, that's how you pronounce it. And in the meantime, they're going to dive in deep, looking for a Phoenix. Afterlife with the real you will take down our Zeke. And looks like Sioma get hit with a little bit of stun action, a little bit more coming as Roger's going to get right in front of him. Pudge has to deny himself. Sioma, how baller are you? Turns out he's full baller, guys. That is, not easy to do. Jump in. Phoenix is going to get Icarus canceled. I'm not really going to do anything off of that. It was a little bit late. But still, the real you able to shove in this top wave. Look at this Fire Spirit. Minus attack speed. Ugh. Like, yeah, at this point, Terrorblade's like, God, I wish I had a Bloodstone so I could kill myself. It feels so bad. You could get a Manta Style to split out of one of those spirits, but Phoenix has more. Oh, Roger. Support Clockwork. I actually am very impressed by how he's kind of deviated into this support Clockwork role. That being said, they're going really deep to go in for this Terrorblade. There is a Nyx Assassin here. They have to make sure not to get caught with the Chrono. Nyx Assassin now spotted as well. Black Hole ready and primed. Force Shots, though, is not going to use it just yet. Spike Carapace will slow him down. They will take down the real you. And the Storm Spirit will jump out of there. Afterlife playing that very, very... hook, okay. I'm just getting Afterlife out of there, I suppose. Afterninja, though, going to arrive. He does not have Spike Carapace. Looking for the jukes. One raise to land. Second raise will miss. You just have to right-click him, bro. And now he's in a lot of trouble. G does not have the pullback. Sioma, hook is available. They got him right back into the Impale. Perfectly coordinated that time. They lose the Terrorblade but gain the Shadow Fiend.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
In an okay trade for effect. They're going to be kind of okay with that. Especially if they can drop a Black Hole on him again. Here comes the magical damage from the Phoenix. Not enough to instantly get the kill, but he doesn't have a Sunder, so it's not really a big deal. They'll tick him down with the dots. And the real U will fall in the second time towards top lane. Much needed kills here for effect. This Terrorblade has had way too good of a time so far. But at this point in the game, Terrorblade is not even their primary concern. Killing him off at least. The concern has got to be, how do we actually use these pickoffs to get the Shadow Fiend back into play? The Shadow Fiend can flash farm like nobody's business. But up against Storm Spirit, a Nyx Assassin, and a Pudge, it is so difficult to actually get him guaranteed farm without getting him picked off. And of course, whenever you get picked off, you lose your souls, and then farming gets slower, and it's just this whole big ordeal. Our Zeke also, oh my god, that Vendetta hit did some damage. The Phoenix has like 0 base armor, but I did not expect that much damage. Holy crap, that Vendetta did a lot. I mean, this is also a level 7 Nyx Assassin, so level 4 Impale is up, and he is doing an awful lot. We usually don't see this much successful rotation from Nyx Assassins, just because, well, usually there are just fewer opportunities. But Enigma in the jungle, a soft mid laner like Shadow Fiend, opportunities are pretty easy to come by from the Vega side. What has this Pudge been up to? It's level 6 right now. Hook accuracy, you know, I would say around that 50% mark. He does have that chow down though. Some fresh meat perhaps for Sioma as they're going to assemble the troops. In the mid lane, Silent does have a hook out, although it's gonna miss, so maybe not. And unfortunately, Silent cannot kill himself, although we'll get a lot of help here. 2-man Impales, they jump in towards the Shadow Fiend, and they will do a lot of damage, not quite enough to kill. Although, with the real U coming in, they will take down the Shadow Fiend. Cedoid Chronosphere is going to catch on the Storm Spirit, as will the ultimate from our Zeke. Slowed down the Terrorblade. Hook will finish off the Phoenix, and real U is now going to stand strong up against the Faceless Void, who will dodge the Impale with the Time Walk. Well played, but Roger does not have that same luxury. He'll put himself in a corner and just die. They'll lose the Storm Spirit and the Dazzle, but lose 3 in exchange on the effect side. Storm Spirit will be up soon enough. And that is once again a fight where Shadow Fiend was not able to survive. That's going to be his souls going down the drain. That is Afterlife playing absolutely amazing on this Nyx Assassin. And Shadow Fiend is having such a rough farm game. Enigma with Hand of Midas, and just because he's able to clear the jungle so quickly, is still working with a lot of cash. But Enigma with a lot of gold is not really what you want up against a Pudge, Nyx, and Storm. Really need a BKB in that case, and then like it's just the Pudge that you have to worry about. But it's still not impossible for Sioma to land that hook. Afterlife on the hunt. Target acquired. 2 of them, 3 of them. He knows the Phoenix is really easy to kill. Sioma's gonna plant some vision. Roger gonna get rid of that vision. Oh, our Zeke. Well, he'll kill off the Observer Ward. They'll dust up and miss Afterlife by a mile. And Nyx Assassin looks like it's the first Vendetta that's actually not going to do anything. Aloha Dance / the real U. Going to be pretty happy in the jungle right now. Level 10 Terrorblade. Can clear very, very quickly. Not really needed around the map right now. G still needs that Bloodstone. Gone for power treads, you know, pretty standard stuff with the Storm Spirit build-up, including that full magic wand. But right now, Vega are really low on damage over in the mid lane. They'll weave up Afterlife, Roger. Has a hook shot, but really doesn't want to commit onto a Nyx assassin.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
They'll take down the tower. Vega really don't have the heroes to defend right now. They do want G to get this extra farm. They want the Terrorblade to do the same.
Bottom tower is under attack.
With the Chronosphere, Supernova, the Requiem, though it is only level 1. You can see Effect kind of starting to swing their big team fight around. They just want to show it off. Say, okay, Vega, we're going to group up as 5 and take your structures. If you don't want to do anything about it, that's fine. But if you do want to do something about it, we'll just kill you. And Vega split pushing, starting with this Terrorblade with the bottom lane from G. Courier intercepts. Almost there from Afterlife. Very close timing. But Effect can afford to do this. They do have to make sure not to do this all the time. Getting only a tower for like a couple minutes of 5-man is not worth it. Getting Roche will make it worth it in the end, though. Double damage rune on the Shadow Fiend, plus that Vlad's aura on Seedoy. And Roche is not going to last long at all. Especially with Roger potentially protecting from any sort of Pudge hook shenanigans.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And it'll be a free double life here for the Effect side. This will start giving them a little bit of momentum. Use this big team fight to lock out Vega. Now the last big team fight combo, the Chronosphere and the Supernova worked out decently in the mid lane. Just not enough damage afterwards because of how fast the Shadow Fiend dropped. Afterlife sees an Enigma. It's an Enigma with an Ogre Club though, not an easy kill by himself. Call an Io, he needs some help. Affinage, another big target. Roger, not quite as big, but still something that he would want to go for, any of these heroes, if he had the backup.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Or Courier. Chicken.
Radiant's bottom
Buckles
tower
is going
under
to make
attack.
his way out, and on the return, will probably get picked off here. No? Deviates his course to go up towards top lane to make his final delivery towards our Zeke. That sucks if you're Afterlife. Bottom lane still being pushed. G.
Is under attack.
Again, still looking for that soul booster. 3,000 towards it. Very close to completion.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Now, once they get the Bloodstone, they'll have some sort of shot against this.
Tower is under attack.
Double life, plus that Dragonlance and Shadow Fiend. In fact, are able to make these pushes pretty freely. Nyx, Pudge, Storm, they're nowhere near defending this, so they just are all in the split push plan. No real delays either. Someone like a Keeper of the Light, or just like a Lina with a Dragon Slave can definitely stall this up. But it seems though those heroes are clearly not selected. Whoa, Phoenix TP will be cancelled by Afterlife. Lots of damage, but far from a kill. Buy a little bit of time for everyone to make their retreat over in bottom. And Afterlife is actually still chasing after this Phoenix. Icarus Dive will get him away. G. Soul Booster is available. A lot of extra mana because of just that item. But still not going to go for it. Effect walk in. Take 2 towers in the mid lane. And then we'll walk in towards bottom to do the exact same thing. Now Vega are getting a lot of farm in the meantime, just because they know that while this push is happening, there's like a 0% chance that anyone dies in any other lane. So they're able to just boldly farm those lanes, shove them out as fast as they can, and ultimately they are getting like 2 lanes worth of golden experience, whereas for Effect they're only getting 1. So it's not like totally bad for Vega. But the concerning thing is that they're not doing anything to kind of stop this from happening at all. So Effect will just constantly do it until all the towers are down, then look for the high ground. Or look for the high ground right now when only 2 of the tier 2 towers are down. And now Vega's hand is forced. Their split push is not fast enough to deviate Effect from this. Afterlife looking for a Ravage. Ooh, we'll second guess it. Oh, there's the Impale. There's the Ravage onto 3. Hook out is going to actually clump the hole so that Clockwork can get 2 in the cogs. Shot's looking for a black hole. Can't find it. The Chronosphere, though, is going to land onto 2 in the back lines. Here comes the Supernova and the Razes and the black hole all piled in towards that Terrorblade. He is going to get stunned up and he will not get the Sunder off. They should lose Afterlife here as well. He will fall. That's a 3-0. All of the ultimates from Effect are down. So now Vega can fight, at least as best as they can. Jump back in from G, looking for the Enigma. Afterlife trying to cast an Impale. Will get it off onto the Enigma. Will grant them 1 kill, but it'll cost an Assassin. And now G needs to get himself out of here. Hook is already down. Silent taking a big hit, but not quite dead just yet. Sioma looking for a hook angle, but there are so many tiny summons in the way. And now the Sunray gonna juice them back up to near full HP. 20 minutes in, racks fall. They'll lose the Phoenix very quickly. Though with the Cog push back, Storm Spirit will be forced to jump right back out, and the 2 supports on the side will get obliterated. Did Effect just win this game? They may have just won off of that play. And for Vega, they need a silencer, a global silence in order to deal with this. They also need for Sioma not to group up their own heroes so that they all get hit with that big AoE teamfight combo. Keep in mind, this is also, in the grand scheme of things, Effect with a Shadow Fiend who is still, or who was for a very long time behind. Has recovered since then, but he was slowed down a lot. He's still doing the damage just because he has all this backup. Do they even have a mech? They don't even have a mech, man. Enigma just gonna go blink BKB. Vega are failing to separate this 5-man of Effect before the Effect heroes are ready to get into the high ground push. Gonna cost them 1 full lane. And Afterlife grabs the Illusion Rune. Got him. That'll show them. Half an inch now on top of the net worth chart in Vega. I don't really know what they can do about this. Courier is going to be killed off as well. At least it didn't have anything on it. G did get his Bloodstone in the past fight and is going to go towards an Orchid. But they need to win a team fight, Vega, if they're going to look to turn this around. And again, they have had very little game in doing so thus far, with the BKBs coming up on both the SF and Enigma. The Manta Style on Seedoy, of course, level 2 Chronosphere is up. How are Vegas supposed to do this? Your guess is as good as mine, because the shit is about to hit the fan real soon. Sioma needs to land a hook, it seems. Force out a couple heroes up towards the top. Hook will land onto the Faceless Void, but no Dismember in time. Seedoy will time walk it back, and pretty much nothing will come out of that. Bottom lane is being slightly split pushed by this Terrorblade. He's doing what he can, and he's going pretty quickly, actually. With more illusions to leave behind. TPs are not incoming. Dire Scan will keep him safe. Afterlife gonna look to poke out. You have to watch out. If G gets Chronosphered like that, or hit with a black hole, very bad situation. Although he will have a quick respawn, won't really be quite quick enough. Shot though, hit with the Impale, hooked out as well. Can they kill off this Enigma? He's gonna put out the black hole, and that means he will not die. Sioma will die to himself, actually. Commits Sudoku one more time. Afterlife in the corner is gonna group Effect up. They're gonna jump in after this Clockwork. Seedoy still holding that Chronosphere, but they're just bleeding out health and heroes right now. Vega will save Afterlife, albeit barely. BKBs haven't popped out, but so far no big teamfight ultimates used. Real U on bottom lane. Got all the way to the tier 3s, and Vega make such a great poke play. They will get themselves a tier 3 tower for free. For Pudge, rather, not necessarily free. Man, Effects were definitely feeling confident with their team fights spells, if there was actually a chance to use them. But that's setup from Afterlife. Setting up on that Enigma so that the hook can land. Exactly what Vega need. Kind of just need to bait Effect into using their ultimates really poorly. Or pickoffs. This is what they've been dying for this entire time, and Roger is going to get impaled. Dismember is waiting for him. And, whoa, Storm Spirit's here as well as the Dazzle. Okay, everyone is here from Effect, from Vega, rather, to kill off Roger. Killing off a Clockwork is not going to stop a push from Effect if Effect really want to do it. But Effect are playing a little bit cautiously now, seeing as though in this push, unlike the last, there is no double life here. No Aegis just yet. Affinage gonna get pulled in. No Dismember one more time. Seedoy threatening the Chronosphere. Not gonna pull that trigger just yet. Actually, there was no Dismember on cooldown. It was used earlier. Shots though. BKB forced out very early on. He won't be able to do that much with it. Off in the side in the meantime, Silent in a really bad spot right now, though the real U is here. Look at calling the Chronosphere. Arzeek has freedom to pull out his ultimate right now. Sunder from the real U, not going to happen. He doesn't have a buyback. He might need it right now because Black Hole caught a whole bunch on the back lines. G will fall, and the Supernova will go off in celebration. Storm will be up in 5. Terrorblade needs to buy back for this. If they don't have the Terrorblade, they don't have enough damage. Xiongwen finally does have another Dismember. He'll throw it out, kill a creep. Storm Spirit is ready to go. Nick Assassin doing what he can to cut the creep wave. He's going to jump in straight towards the Phoenix, jump straight out, but the racks are gone already. Effect are getting these objectives down in Vega, refusing to buy out on this Terrorblade. Afterlife scanned, and will get a couple of creeps on his tail. Roger needs a hook shot to land, though. He's just buying time for the dust, and the hook shot will slip in. He has a Force Staff, Afterlife, and there is no more detection, but he's still dead. He will fall. 2 racks now in favor of Effect. Vega, I, again, don't really know what they can do about this. They'll try to go for a pick on the Faces forward with the Orchid. They'll take him down. Look for a second into Roger. The Cogs will push back G. Lose a little bit of mana there. He's still on for the chase. Try to get in front of Roger, but this Clockwork is just so tanky with that Solar Crest. G doesn't actually... Wow, that disrespect? Seriously? Xiongwen's going to jump in and say, screw you, buddy. They'll get the kill on the Clockwork, who for some reason decided that was a good play. These handful of kills for Vega are not good enough to get them into parity in this game. They need a gold lead if they're going to be even in this game. Not even joking, guys. Like, this 11k advantage that we see for Effect right now, it will be probably a 3k advantage for Vega if they want to say, okay, we're in a good spot in this game. Picking off our Zeke is definitely a good start, and Afterlife will do that by himself. Effect losing a couple heroes here and there, but it's in a period of time where they're kind of allowed to lose heroes because they don't have the... Oh, that's not the play. It's not like a super long duration BKB, but he doesn't have it. But either way, it'll come back online when the Black Hole's online, so he's just setting that up for later. No teamfight ultimates, no Aegis means that Effect are going to be less than willing to go for a very aggressive game-winning play. So getting picked off is not the end of the world. Vega setting up for a Roche play. At least trying to counter that of Effect. Afterlife stunned up, does have a Force Staff, will stun up a handful of heroes, hook out on the Phoenix, and they will be able to drop him very low. Seedoy drops a Chronosphere, only lands on the Dazzle, however. Now he is in a lot of trouble, dismembered up, and is going to get pulled back and dropped. Already 2-0 here for Vega, as Affinin is going to let loose with his ultimate. Real U is going to challenge that Shadow Fiend 1v1. Silence is going to prevent himself from dying with the Grave, and we'll make it a 4-0. Vega closing the gap a little bit here, and now we'll be able to take down Roche off of a very fresh Metamorphosis. Afterlife just scouting out in case Shotchlo gets a little bit brave here, and he will be able to make sure that this is a safe Roche. That fight is exactly what Vega needed, and that's exactly what their heroes have to do up against Effect. Pull them apart and isolate them. They killed off the Phoenix, and they were able to isolate the Faceless Void without their ultimates doing all that much. Phoenix didn't even get his off. Faceless Void kind of panicked into a move there to save his buddy. Ultimately only got one with the Chronosphere and wasn't even able to right-click that hero because it was a Dazzle. That is such a difficult fight to replicate from Vega. Like, it only really happened because everyone from Effect was coming down a hill, up the hill into Vega's land. So replicating that in the future is going to be a tough sell. But with this double life, they're able to find a couple of minutes now, able to split farm the map, get a couple of items up, get G, this Shiva's Guard. Already this Orchid has been overperforming for him. Try to split push as best they can, because Lord knows they need it. Afterlife's going to blow the smoke from Shotchlo. He has no detection. They'll drop a sentry, but Afterlife is not newbie enough to get caught by that. He'll just go straight towards the south. There is minimal pressure being applied towards the Radiant base right now. Top lane, a couple of illusions will be sent out by the Real U. That's going to do very little to stem this bleeding. 5k lead for effect, but 2 racks means that they're in a position they could just suicide dive for those buildings. And if they're able to take him out, that's just a game win. I don't think Vega can beat Megas. G in the back. Does have that double life. I'll take down all the shrines first of all. Real U still shoving top as fast as he can. And it's what, been a minute? He's gone from here to here. That's not really impressive. That's super creeps for you. He's trying to remain competitive in the farm. It's just so hard to accrue gold. Super creeps give less bounty. They take longer to kill. So what you see is pretty much what you get with this Terrorblade. There's a big reason why he decided not to buy back earlier. You lose that gold, it's going to take such a long time to get it back. Afterlife. Sentry was not in range of this Nyx. Still scouting. And Vega are actually going to hold their base for right now. But to get the element of surprise, perhaps. They see Seedoy. Time walk out. Afterlife sees absolutely everybody right now. Phoenix is off in no man's land, but no one's actually able to get on top of him, way too far away. That could have been such a big opportunity there from Vega if they were able to jump on top of this Faceless Void. But still, they're able to drive effect away from their own base. You can see the Terrorblade trying desperately to push out these side lanes. But in all this time, he's just not getting that much gold. We get probably the best rune, Illusion Rune. When do you get to say that, right? Usually Illusion Rune is trash. But in this situation, it's exactly what a Terrorblade wants. Just more momentum towards bottom. Just try to distract effect for a couple more minutes. If you're the Shiva's Guard, G, working with that gem now. Again, if anyone on Vega gets picked off, and if they don't have buyback, that's just game over, man. Game over, man. Game over. Storm is farming pretty rapidly, but everyone else on Vega really having troubles with income. I mean, it's tough enough to get farm on a Pudge or a Dazzle. But against super creeps, it just gets unrealistically difficult to get money. Without winning a team fight, of course. On the other side, they're freely farming the jungle. Pushing out the waves while not getting picked off. Afterlife is going to find Affinage in what could be a pretty big opportunity here, though Roger's right around the corner. Faceless Void just TP'd out. Afterlife does not know about that. There's Enigma right around the corner. This could be a really big opportunity here from Vega. Affinage is going to get jumped, but he pops the BKB immediately and is going to deploy the ultimate. It'll do very little, however. Sacho also going to use his BKB, again for not much. He blinks out to the side. Will end up stunning the Nyx assassin with the Malphus, but it's in the south fight that's the real problem here. They're going to catch him to the clockwork, at least G will. Try to take him down with the Sunray. Do so much healing, not quite enough. Now the real U onto the Phoenix. They'll take a double, looking for more. Hook in with the Dismember onto Affinage. There's a Chrono Spirit here, but they aren't going to pop it. And Vega get 3. Is this what they call a comeback? It just might be. As effect were pulled apart in all directions. G, with this much mana regeneration now, not someone you're going to be feeling comfortable throwing a Chronosphere towards. If you miss it, you're screwed. Same thing as the Enigma. And that was some beautiful play from Afterlife and G on the Nyx and Storm to kind of pull apart effect. Again, that fight, the way you operate in that fight is so damn near impossible. They're going to go for even more. Hook back now onto the Faceless Void. Chronosphere not going to use just yet. Black Hole first is going to be committed. They'll focus down the Pudge, take down the Assassin as well. Now the Chronosphere Chain Stun onto the Terrorblade. Does have a Sunder, however. They need to take him down. Sunder is not going to be used. Oh no, that could have been huge if he was able to get that Sunder out. And G is going to be just fine here. Silent, probably not as much so. The base is in complete shambles here from Vega, and Silent just trying to make a retreat, trying to buy some time, but there is a 0% chance of survival here from the Dazzle. Storm does not have a TP squirrel, so he has to just walk back. By walk back, I mean ball lightning back. Silent, wow, really just took that long to die? We know he was dead. Vega end up buying back the Dazzle, still have Terrorblade buyback.
Dire's middle
Shouldn't need to use it. They will take down Range Rack's bottom, which is going to help quite a bit. But that Terrorblade, man, just a little bit short on durability. An additional health item, any health item, or like a magic wand, probably more so than health because of Shallow Grave, would have definitely turned the tides. Again, a Sunder means that he's still in the fight, and most likely it'll be a full lane of racks for Vega. Chronosphere and Black Hole were used there. So for effect, there's still at least 30 seconds, 45 seconds before they're really going to feel comfortable making another aggressive play. Afterlife. In the meantime, stalking our Zeke. G going to come right in. Silence onto these. Phoenix means he's going to go back into a circle. Awkward as hell for G, who uses a lot of mana for that. But still doesn't matter, got kill. And Vega are bringing it back. 5k net worth. The lead is shrinking for effect. And again, Vega won't feel comfortable in this game until they have a gold lead. And about that time, it will be an even-ish game, with being 2 racks down. But man, they are making such a huge stand here. Keep in mind, the first racks fell at 21 minutes, I believe. Usually, if you lose racks by then, you're just done. Game over, man. Game over. The Vega are starting to climb back in this game. Again, one bad fight from Vega, and it's all over. Oh, Afterlife with the quick fingers. The pings are out. Vega are so happy to see that. His face is void. He is going to be not that useful for effect for the next 100 seconds. And Vega, if they're able to take a fight right now, it will maximize their chances to win. It'll be around the Roche pit. Bottom lane will be shoved in by G. That Bloodthorn now. This Storm Spirit's hitting pretty darn hard. So the farm levels of effect are pretty high. Manta Diffusal Blade on the Faceless Void. Shotshell has since picked up Octarine. He's had that for a very long time now, going for Travels, or has Travels as well. Shortly after, now going for a Refresher Orb. He is an absolute force to be reckoned with. And of course, the Shadow Fiend. I have Scotty BKB. Nothing to sneeze at. But it is still seemingly affects team fight, and nothing but their team fight, not really their farm. Just all their team fight execution that matters in this game. Of course, farm will get you more team fight in the case of the Enigma. Once there's a gem picked up on effect, things get much more difficult for Vega. Afterlife can't do this, just get full free vision. And look for those picked off. Shoshlo stunned up and pulled back. This Enigma needs to survive. I'm not really sure if it's possible. He will go down, as will the Phoenix. And Vega, they'll take a little bit of damage here on the Nyx Assassin, but he's already done his job. They'll root down the Shadow Fiend with the neutrals. Working for Vega. Hook back in from Rogers. Enigma's going to be forced to buy out. Ball letting back in from G. Onto the Clockwork. They'll take him down. Cito has a Chronosphere. He'll drop it, but he's not able to do that much damage. Shoshilo's going to come in from behind. He'll walk into the Black Hole and then whiff his Black Hole. Oh my god, Shoshlo. He walked into Chrono, then whiffed his Black Hole. At least he'll blink away from the Terrorblade, but he bought back for that. He has no buyback. The lanes are looking really good for Vega in the side. Again, that one range rack's doing some pretty nice work for them there. And now, since the ultimates are all down the tubes from effect, Vega have a chance to go straight for Roche. This is Roche 3. They don't have Metamorphosis here, but they will have the vision. Storm needs a little bit of time to get that mana back up. But effect, they whiff the Chronosphere. The first Chronosphere. They completely whiff the Black Hole as Enigma. I mean, Blink Enigma is usually Blink Black Hole, but that was Blink into walk around for like 5 seconds into whiff the Black Hole. So easy to respond at that stage. And now he is a fairly useless hero, this Enigma, until he has that ultimate again. Oh, Real U, just fine. Regen Rune picked up, gonna fill the tank of mana a little bit. Everyone in effect is back. But Vega are going Super Saiyan in this game. 2 racks down, not a big deal, man. They just have to make sure not to get too complacent. If they get a little bit careless with their positioning, they could very easily mean the end of the game. They go in as too tight of a clump. That could be it, but the Shiva's Guard going to connect onto absolutely everyone, trying to focus down the Phoenix first. Gets stunned up by the Malefice. Afterlife looking to finish the kill, and he will do just that with the help of G's Orchid. And now they're going to try to disengage away from these BKBs. Affinage and Shoshlo both burning there to do very, very little. Sioma looking for the hook back in. He's going to catch Shoshlo, isolate him with the Dismember, and with the right clicks, should be able to take him down. Not quite, but he doesn't have a black hole. Anyway, he will get picked off by the Mana Burn. Chronosphere does drop into the Terrorblade, but now this time, he definitely has enough chance to get the Sunder off. They'll catch 2 in the cogs, but the Clockwork will sacrifice his life for it, as Affinage is being chased down. Mana Burn hitting him pretty hard right there. He'll force that back up to the high ground. Sioma is going to give chase with the Blink Dagger and the hook. Real use here with the Sunder onto Seedoy. It's a full wipe for Vega. Oh my god, guys. Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe in miracles? Because Vega are doing it. The Faceless Void is going to buy out. Phoenix is going to try to Supernova in the back. That's not in range of this Terrorblade, so he's just shrugging it all off. Fortification will let him reposition. G just waiting for a little bit more juice to go back in. But this is mid-Rax taken. Now this base of Vega is looking pretty darn bad. But with now Rax parity, Vega are going to take a gigantic lead in this game. Almost Rax parity. Range Rax at 80. That's actually really awkward. Oh my god. They're doing it. Vega are actually doing it. And Effect are having a real tough time finding opportunities with their ultimates. G's initiations, Afterlife's follow-ups have been absolutely miraculous. Like every single time. Jump in, knock out someone like a Phoenix or an Enigma. Now keep in mind, Lotus Orbs are coming up here. One on Shadow Fiend, one on the Phoenix. So that Bloodthorn effect is going to be a little bit more difficult to use here from G. They did not take down Roche, so it will be effect. I'm going to jump in towards that one. Although G does have a Scythe of Vice. You can reflect that. Afterlife, very careful here on the Nyx Assassin. He's going to get a full scout out for free. Now G's going to jump in again towards the back. And the Phoenix, even with the Lotus Orb, is going to get picked off. Seedoy, Chronosphere, looking for it. Shoshlo, Black Hole as well. They're not committing anything just yet. Hook out from Afterlife with the Force Staff. He's fine. And Vega, they run a drive-by on effect. Buzz down the Phoenix, take him out. Slow down the Roche. Now they can't go in themselves. That will be suicidal. But they can wait for bottom lane to be pushed in. Terrorblade gonna send his goons to deal with that. At the same time, top lane is somewhat of an issue here for Vega, but top lane is close to Roshan, so it's actually pretty convenient for them to deal with both. G has so many Bloodstone charges at this point. His mana regeneration is off the chain. Does have to be careful though. Chronosphere is pretty good still, even with the Shiva's Guard on the Storm. 2000 HP is quite a bit to grind through, but they can do it. Clockwork, looking for a hook shot in. He's gonna catch onto Sioma, put him in a cage, but Roger now has to face up against the real you. Black Hole gonna be dodged by the Blink Dagger. Shoshlo now gonna be torn apart by the Terrorblade, and will drop very low with G coming in, will be dropped down. Seedoy gets a Chronosphere. It's only onto the Terrorblade though, and the Supernova is a little bit too far away. I think Terrorblade still can't get the Sunder off G. And Afterlife though gonna try to go for Affinage. Lotus Orb not gonna do enough. Is just gonna right click him down. Now going in towards our Zeke. In the meantime, Afterlife is gonna try to take Seedoy out of the engagement with Yules, with the Impale, just so they can focus down the Phoenix, and they will do just that. G's running dry though. He's got to get out of here. He'll survive at 20 HP. Silent will get dropped by Seedoy. There's nothing else they can do about that. But that fight for Vega, I think, was just good enough. Did someone just buy back? I think Shadow Fiend just bought back. Yeah, he wants to go for this Aegis. Is there any shrine that Are there any shrines left for Vega? No. Oh, no way. Double buybacks and Afterlife. No. No, you can't do this. This is not realistic. This is just not realistic. Hook shot back in. Roger, though, doesn't know it, and Cheese is grabbed by the Nyx. Oh, no. They got their cheese jacked, and now they're jumping with the Shivas onto everyone after this pop of DKB. Hook is going to jump in onto an illusion, unfortunately enough. The real you, the buybacks looking for Roger. They're going to pull back the Shadow Fiend, and him and the Clockwork are both going to fall. Now the Faceless Void, he'll die, lose that double life, as Afterlife did consume That cheesy delicacy, they'll impale the Faceless Void. Phoenix is going to try to give him some cover, but it's not enough. He'll get stunned by the Spike Carapace. He'll Icarus dive down to the south, but the Terrorblade is going to give chase with the Hurricane Pike. Our Zeke trying to fly away. That's not going to happen, my friend. It's a triple kill for the real you. The base is still looking really rough here for Vega. But let me tell you, with the 9k lead, with no one being alive of any relevance here from effect, I think the real you, with this Terrorblade, can just go to work on the throne and win the game right here, right now. Enigma has a black hole, but he cannot kill this many heroes. If he tries, he will just get hooked out of it. And that'll be it. I can't believe Vega are actually able to do that. Oh, they did it! Holy crap, guys. Holy crap. That was an 11k lead. 2 Raxes. 2 sets of racks at 30 minutes. Shasha's gonna jump in, black hole, illusions. The game's already over, so it doesn't even matter. But holy crap, I don't have words. Do you guys know how hard it is to win a game after you lose racks at 20 minutes and then lose a second set of racks soon after? It did seem like